This is Allison Hunt. This is the HAVENBELL Trilogy, Book 2, The Scepter of ZANE, Chapter 13, You Can't Fly. Evan, charge up! We must destroy him! Zack began his own light, and he conjured his strength and energy. Evan began to charge as well. Don't you want to know where your scepter is? Don't you want to know who keeps you from the throne? If you kill him, it's automatically yours. If I die, you won't get it at all. Don't listen to him! Get it from his mind! Zack insisted. Then Evan pressed into Duran. Evan was much stronger than he had thought. He growled, but Duran would not let him in. Get ready! Cheyenne knows, and I will find her. We must take him out, now! They charged their power. Duran spun his cloak and ducked from their beams. He confused them, and he turned into his owl form and flew. Damn it! Evan cried. Zack drew his sword and flew after him. You can't fly, the owl told Zack. Yes, I can. Your girlfriend's gonna die if you don't find her. This made Zack fear, and fear destroys strength. You can't fly, Duran repeated. Zack stopped and fell. Evan saw him and used his power to stop and suspend him before he hit the ground. He was placed down gently on his feet. Thank you. Bastard got away, now what? I must find Cheyenne. Cheyenne escaped. He can't follow her. He really got to you, didn't he? Shut up! Cheyenne grew bored and started to explore around the camp. He had left her clothing and a bow. She decided it was best to leave all of Winter's things alone. She did not understand them, and he had it all perfectly rigged for their protection. She realized that by living on Josephera, she had learned absolutely nothing of any value. The only thing productive she could do was shoot, but she was no hunter, and her wings made her an awkward elf. Even if she killed something, she dare not touch Winter's things, not even in search of a knife. She knew nothing of cleaning animals either, and felt ashamed that she was never taught anything useful that would benefit him at all. The best she could do was gather supplies in case they needed to travel. She explored, but didn't go far. She shot 2 rabbits with the bow Winter had left her. She gathered firewood, cotton that had fallen from the trees, and picked berries. When she was picking, she heard a rustling. Quietly, she picked up the bow and crept closer to the sound. This might be the big kill she was hoping for. When she peered around the tree, she was astounded to see a white-winged horse. This must be Eli, Duran's horse. How clever Winter was to steal the horse unnoticed and hide it here, just like he stole her. She wanted to get closer, feed it, touch it, but she resisted and returned to camp with her supplies. She slept. When she woke, Winter was quietly attending his contraptions. She bundled up, still laying down, and watched him. He continued to fix things and never turned around. Why aren't you talking? He asked. She didn't answer. You tried to do things, thank you, but we cannot make a fire here. We must eat from the sea. The berries are good, though. We need those. Why aren't you talking? I want you to like me. I do like you. I've shown you. You saw the horse. Yes, I didn't touch it. I know. You'd be dead. You're getting smarter. I have to do something you won't like. I must stain your hair with the berries and cut it. Why? To protect you. To hide you. You stand out. I must have no one recognize you or pay attention to you. You stand out too. There are only 3 Drakens living outside of Drake. 4, actually. I can defend myself. You cannot. Come here. Cheyenne didn't say a word and came and sat down in front of him. He braided her hair and took out his knife. He raised the knife high under her hair to the nape of her neck. Little did she know how short he wished to cut it, but he loved her, lowered the knife, and only cut off half of her hair. A tear fell down her cheek. She remained silent. He moved her hair to one side and kissed her neck. I'm sorry. It won't always be this way. Keep my hair with you. No, I can have no evidence that links us together. You and I must never leave a trace. You did not resist me. I made an oath. He crushed the berries in a bowl and spread them through her hair. She later rinsed it out and looked at her reflection in the water. I hate it! You're as vain as a feather, but you are much safer this way, except... What? You look just like your mother, and that is easy for Duran to see. Everyone else won't notice you. I need to train you. Teach me how to hunt and to clean. Teach me what those things do. Teach me something useful. I will not teach you what my things do. Just stay away from them. I will teach you to use your power. I'm actually relieved no one has taught you. Relieved is an emotion. Why? I'm useless. I know more than they do. More than Neja, Zach, Evan, and Duran? No, Duran is my equal. Evan is close, and Zach is stronger than Neja. Then you do not know more than Duran? Yes, I have technology, and they do not. You must be as strong as possible to stay alive and battle other wizards. Like Zach? Especially him. I will do anything you ask. Winter smiled a gorgeous grin. Good girl. And my friend says, like, Winter seems like he's a total control freak. No, not really. I mean, it seems like that kind of, I guess I could see what he's saying is that he has so much responsibility, and the balance of this entire world is balanced on him staying the king and staying kind of hidden. He has so much to worry about. He doesn't want to die, especially by Duran, because Duran can hurt so many people with that thing. So many people with it. His thing is that she has to trust him. She has to trust him and let him guide and lead her so that he can keep that scepter and himself safe. It does kind of seem like he's controlling. And honestly, Winter, later in Ezra, the next book, you're going to find out that he is kind of selfish in some ways. He is kind of selfish about some things. So he's definitely has flaws. She has to totally trust him, and she has to listen to him because he has everything riding on his shoulders, and he has to trust her, and she has to trust him, period, or it's all going to fall apart. She can't turn against him because it'll destroy everything. So it's really important to him and the Draken Oath that she doesn't have to be a slave or anything like that. Is that she has to listen to him, and she has to, because if she doesn't, he can't trust her, and he has to trust her as equally so. Winter was prepared. He had everything ready. He tied a scarf around Cheyenne's head. He grabbed his packs. She followed him to Eli, and he broke whatever spells and traps that were placed around him. Winter saddled him. Where are we going? Aztrack. Wouldn't we be safer going by sea? Yes, we must take them the horse. Why don't you fly and I'll go by sea and meet you there? I'll beat you there. No, you stay with me. He held out his hand and lifted her up. Eli spread his wings and flew off with them. No one noticed them, not even a feather had seen them, for everyone was quite busy at this moment. They reached Aztrack, and Winter flew right to the entrance, although Cheyenne couldn't see anything. They unsaddled, and Winter waved. A large empty box came out of the ground, and they got inside of it. They began to lower into the city. Be quiet, Winter warned. I love Denzer. They were brought to Denzer. He turned around in his chair. You are unwise to bring the tri-breed, sire. We have enough trouble with the horses as it is. She was safer there. Every damn wizard is looking for her, and you as well. Winter began to speak in the ancient language to Denzer. I could not leave her. You love her much, I see, to endanger me. Will you clone the horses? They are sterile. No. That's the last thing we need is more of them and more wars over them. We shall keep them safe here. When you leave, we will raise our shield. Do you know where the last seeing tier is? I cannot find it. Yes, it's with the first half-breed who brought the other horse here, Trillium. That was unwise. You endanger me as well. She's headed straight towards him, and if he gets that tier, he'll find the scepter. We are sorry, sire. She is an Adrella, is she not? Yes! Foolish! You must get it back before Winsfield finds it, or everything will be ruined. This I know. Good luck, sire. Get rid of Winsfeld. When they returned to the surface, Cheyenne took Winter's hand. What does clone mean? You understood us? Yes, but Zach never taught me the ancient language. He kissed her forehead. I had forgotten that I had given you half of my power. Are you going to kill my mother? Yes. Dun, dun, dun. If he says he has to, he has to. Zach ordered Evan to stay in the mountains and keep watch for Duran. He was going to the meeting after all. He left supplies and left Polar Mist. He didn't need a boat. He was a feather. Evan made a camp and stayed several nights alone on the high peak of the mountains. One morning he saw a small boat approaching. He began to descend down the mountains to meet it. He got to the bottom and disappeared. The boat beached and someone in a cloak stood up. Who are you? Who are you? He asked with his mind. Hello? Hello? I can't see you. Please don't hurt me. It was a woman, and she was crying. He got closer and was amazed. He made himself visible. You're human! How can that be? My mother and I are the only ones left. Are you one of the dark ones? Nay, I am an Ortson. Evan pulled his sword. Then you must die. Please don't. I'm not a part of this war. I'm from the country far away from the kingdom. Everyone I know is dead from the wizards and Drakens. I barely escaped. Drakens? Yes, they killed everyone. Tell me where your king is and you shall live. I don't know. I don't know anything. Please let me hide here. Don't tell anyone. She dropped the hood of her cloak, and although she was bloody and dirty, she was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, even compared to Cheyenne. She cried. Evan went to her and held her. It's all right. I'll keep you hidden. I'll keep you safe, and when I rule HAVENBELL, you can live with me. You found the scepter of ZANE? No, not yet, but I will. ZANE was my great-grandfather. No one will take me. They'll kill me, whether I'm good or not. My mother turned out good, as will you, as will I. Evan took care of her for several days, and in that time he fell deeply in love with her and repeatedly and unknowingly gave her his power. All that were left of the wizards now gathered together in masses under Josephera, Section 1. All of the wizards boarded the ship. Neja scowled at Zach when he showed up, but said nothing to him. The Drakens took Ortso. The tri-breed is not there, nor Duran. Where's Trillium's ship? She's going to the mountains, Zach interrupted. That's where Duran is. We just saw him there, but he escaped. He's calling Trillium, and she doesn't know that Cheyenne escaped. Cheyenne is safe? Yes, she knows who the real king is. So does Duran. She took the scepter into the sea with her. She had the scepter? Yes. Curious, that was smart of her to hide it in the sea where he can't follow. Where is Evan, Zach? I left him in the mountains. I ought to kill you myself for training him, you stupid boy. The remaining centaur will forever hunt him for what he has done to them. No, Evan is as strong as Duran. He can find it first. He can contend. Help me find Cheyenne, and he can disappear. Yes, we know what he is, but not what he will do. Then Nemi spoke. We climb the rocks of Drake, and it's guarded by a shield. I see. The mountains were full of Ortsons. We were trapped. Many died. We escaped. We did not see him there, Neja, Kai informed. But he is there now and is there still, Garrett said. And you left the bomb with him. Nemi, do you think that you and I can control him? Neja asked. I don't know. We must try. Trillium's ship reached the mountains. They unloaded some supplies upon the shore. Don't do this, Trillium. This is what he wants. I know. I have to save Cheyenne. You should wait for the rest of them. He doesn't want the rest of them. He wants me. I know. I love you, Phariseph. I must go. Do not follow me or you will die. She kissed him and started up the mountains. When she reached the top, Duran came into view. He smiled. Trillium aimed her bow at him. I'm ready to kill you now, she screamed. You can't. You won't find Cheyenne. You must give your power to me and stay here or she dies. I will let her go if you give me what I want. You know by now what Phariseph is. You don't even want to be in Josephera. You want to be in Phaethia like you belong. I will take you there when I am ruler. Will you let me see her before you set her free? Absolutely not, but I promise she will be safe. I will do what you want, but I won't do it for you. Duran smiled. You've burned for me the minute you saw me, Trillium. He was telling the truth. Trillium made love to him while the wizards were in council. When they finished, Trillium felt really strange. Duran turned into an owl and perched on her shoulder. I feel sick, Duran. Yes, I took much from you, but I also gave you much, and you are confused. You'll feel better later. They watched the sea. I didn't know Evan was DeGroot's child. That makes him really dangerous. Indeed. What are we going to do? We wait for Evan Locks and my sister to show up. Then we must find the Draken. Why? Because he has my scepter. Winter brought her back down into the sea. He put the clear, scary ball back in his pack. I must leave for a while. You should be safe here for a time. Then I must hide you in Drake. Hide me in Drake? Why? It's safer. It has a shield, and Zach and your mother will both be looking for you, and I can't have you near the scepter. You'll pull them straight to you. You're not strong enough yet to fend them off. What about the boundaries? This place is cloaked, but not sealed. It's hidden, but it has no shield or weapons. But I tried to channel Zach here, and it didn't work. That's because I stopped you. So Drake is sealed and armed? Yes, I can't seem to bring that technology into the sea. Who is Madrin? How do you know that name? I took it from a Draken when I was moved there. But you shouldn't have been able to. I grabbed him. Oh, I see. Madrin was the one I killed to get to Zareen. The king? Yes, Madrin was a shithead and it was not easy. But you had the scepter. It shouldn't have been too hard. Nay, I didn't have the scepter. I left it here. Cheyenne read him. If Madrin killed you, he would have won it? Yes. So you killed Zareen as well? Yes, I rule the Drakens. What about the Adrella? They don't know who I am. You're the only one that does, so I must move you. You stole me and put me there on purpose? Yes, I must put you there again, so you don't draw them to you. Your mind is still weak. Winter smiled mysteriously. What is it? You look stunning in Draken clothing. I'm the Queen of Drake? Yes, you are the Queen of HAVENBELL. Leave my stuff alone and do not leave. Winter was gone for a very long time. Cheyenne grew weary and impatient. She did not leave. When Winter returned, she grabbed him, repeatedly pressed her forehead to his, and kissed him. She wanted his love right away. He gave it to her. You missed me? Yes, very much. I have a surprise for you. I hate surprises. He tried to read her but couldn't. That's odd. I can't read you. You know these things you got? What about my things? I made them work. Evan came back from hunting, but couldn't find Sasha anywhere. He grew concerned and walked about the mountaintops calling for her. The longer he searched for her, the more scared he became, and fear destroys strength. Evan, Sasha whispered. He turned around, and there she was standing next to Duran and the Child of Harmony. Evan flashed, for he was furious. He disappeared and pulled his sword and headed straight for Duran, but he appeared again and Duran knocked him backwards. He let go of his sword and threw it at him. It almost got him, but the Child of Harmony used her mind, or so he thought at the time, to stop it, and it fell to the ground. "Damn it, why aren't you helping me?" he screamed at Trillium. "He must die." Trillium ignored him. Evan pulled his sword back to him, and no one stopped him. He turned to Sasha. "We must escape him. He's evil. You must run and hide." "Nay, I will not. Duran is my brother, and he will be our king." "You evil woman! I loved you! You did this on purpose, and I'm gonna kill you for it." He threw his sword at her, but she disappeared. Evan stood in shock and turned back to Duran and Trillium. "You can't use your powers," Evan shouted. "You can't move." Evan was very strong, especially when angry, but Duran and Trillium held firm. With their trade, they were twice as strong as they were individually. "She took all of your powers, Mr. Locks. You must join me and do everything I say." Evan looked at Trillium for help, but she just stared at him. "Yes, Mr. Locks, you will do everything he says." All of the ships headed towards the mountains in search for Duran. Isabel lay next to Jake and brushed the hair on his head softly. "Why are you so troubled, Jake?" "My brother isn't a Falconberry." "So?" "He deserves to be, though. He's always tried so hard, and now everybody hates him. His life is in danger from everyone, and it's not fair. I'm the ass. I should be the bad guy." "But you're the good guy now." "Yeah, I guess. Can I tell you something, Isabel?" "Of course." "All of this time, I've been acting out and messing things up on purpose." "But why? Is it because you hate your brother?" "It seems like that. No, I don't hate him. I love him very much. It's because I'm jealous. He's better than me at everything. Everybody loves him so much, and he is a much grander person than I." "Not anymore." "Yes, not anymore." "So here's your chance, then, to prove yourself to everyone." "It's not that I'm worried about. I'm worried they are going to kill him, and I can't have that." Garrett came down below and called for him. "Falconberry, I need to see you." He hugged Isabel and followed the ferry.